channel. Welcome. Today we are going to do a yoga sequence especially for gardeners. I spent a good hour and a half this morning tugging up some very hard to pull weeds, and my body is ready for this, and hopefully yours is too. So we will begin in a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting up on a blanket. If you have a blanket and would like to do that, I encourage you to do the same. And let's just begin by coming into our breath. So we're going to start bringing our breath first in through the nose and out through the mouth. So just take a couple deep breaths in and fully release the exhale out the mouth. Let's do that again. Big breath in through the nose and fully release your exhale out the mouth. Let the shoulders start to sink down and relax. Close your eyes. And if you can, start bringing your breath now in and out through your nose. And this will help warm the body and slow down the system. Soften the jaw. Let your next breath come in and fill the belly. And then fully release that exhale. This next breath, let's come in through the rib cage and fill and expand into the back. And then fully release that exhale. Notice any tension in the face and gently soften. Let's take another breath and just really fill the chest and the upper back this time. And then fully release this exhale. And let's put it all together. So with a wave of breath, fill the belly, then fill the rib cage, and fill the chest, and then fully release the exhale. Let's do that a few more times. As if you could fill your lungs from bottom to top. And on your next inhale, open your arms out wide, reach for the ceiling, and then exhale, stretch over one side. Continue to bring that breath in and out. And then slowly take that stretch to the other side. Bring it all the way back down, and let's circle the shoulders. All that digging and weeding really creates a lot of tension in the shoulders and the upper back. Let's reverse the direction. So it's really good to take the time to pause and stretch, so you can get right back out there and get to work again. Let's take another big breath in, reach for the ceiling. And then we're gonna twist to one side. Just float the arms down. Take in a couple breaths here. On the next inhale, unwind and reach back up. And then exhale to the other side. Couple big breaths here. And this time just slowly unwind, and we're gonna walk the hands forward and tuck the chin and gently fold. And while you're in this folded position, start trying to breathe into your back. and your rib cage and create space from the inside. And let's walk our hands over to one side a little bit deeper and fold again. And then slowly walk it to the other side and then fold again. And then gently come back to center, and we're going to come back up. And let's go ahead and bring ourselves back into a child's pose position. So that's from hands and knees. We're just going to rest our sitting bones back toward the heels, and the knees can be apart or together. And we just want to settle in here and find a comfortable space. If you're a little high up away from the floor and can't really relax down, you can use that blanket and just bring it underneath your body, or maybe a couple blankets underneath the body to sink down on. And that makes it a little bit more restful. So give yourself 4 or 5 breaths just resting in child's pose. If it feels good, you can gently turn your head, sway your hips. And let's start to reach the arms really long in front. Drawing back through the tailbone so you can extend the spine. And then from here, walk your hands over to one side a little deeper and sink down. And one more full breath here. And then let's walk our hands over to the other side and sink down. And then slowly come back to center. And let's reach the arms really long in front again. We're going to slide the left hand in and turn to look towards your left side as you sink your right underarm just a little deeper toward the floor. So this should give you a nice stretch in your lat muscles, in the upper back, the shoulder girdle. And make sure to take nice long breaths in the stretch. And let's extend this left arm. We're going to pull the right hand back, turn to look toward the right, and then sink the left underarm down. And a couple long, long breaths here. And let's slowly come back to center and start to tuck the chin. We're going to come up toward hands and knees, right up into a rounded cat position. So the chin is tucked, the tailbone is tucked, the belly button is reaching toward the ceiling, and from here we're going to inch forward and back. So as you maintain that rounded spine, just bring it forward and back. And just a couple more breaths right here. And let's come back to neutral and then lifted cat. So now we're going to lift the tailbone, lift chest, dropping the belly, and from right here, sink ear to shoulder, just gently on one side. So that gives a beautiful stretch from the ear down the neck and into the shoulder. Let's come back to center with the head and then to the other side. So we're maintaining this arch in our back as we sink ear to shoulder. Breathe. And let's relax back into that child's pose again. And if it feels good, rock a little bit, roll through the forehead. Maybe even letting those arms come down by your sides. We'll take a few more long breaths in child's pose. One more full breath. And then let's take our arms long in front again. And we're going to bring ourselves into a downward dog, but first really spreading the fingers apart so we can even out the distribution of the weight in the hands. And we want to make sure our hands are shoulder width apart. So the shoulders are coming over the wrists. We're going to tuck the toes under, sink the chest toward the toes, and it's okay if the knees are bent. We really want to get that sinking of the chest toward the toes here. And you can alternate heel stretches. One more full breath here. And let's slowly walk our feet and hands toward each other at center and relax into a fold. So let the shoulders be loose. Sway a little bit there if it feels good. And take a couple more long breaths in this forward fold. One more big inhale. And fully release the exhale. We're going to dig into the feet and pull the belly button toward the spine. When you are ready, slowly roll all the way up. And let's take a nice big reach for the ceiling. Lifting the chest as we sink into the heels. And then slowly relax the arms down by your sides. We're going to circle the shoulders a few times here. And then let's take the legs close together and bring one arm up for a big breath in, and then stretch over the opposite side. And feel the outer edge of your foot on that side you're reaching up. Feel that pushing into the floor. And then let's slowly bring that back down. Take your other arm up for a big breath in, and exhale, stretch over. And keep those nice deep breaths coming. Slowly bring it back up. And now we're going to sweep the arms back behind. So I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to interlace the hands behind our back, letting the shoulders open, and then gently pulling back just till you feel a good stretch there. And we want to be careful not to push through the hips here. So kind of hollow the belly. Pull the belly in a little bit and soften into the knees, and just let your chest be open. Another big breath in. And then we're going to gently bend into the knees. If it feels good, let those hands reach up as you fold over again. Nice deep breaths here. Just a couple more really long breaths. And then slowly bring the arms back down, ground the fingertips, and we're going to walk the feet back and come back on our hands and knees. And we'll do cat stretches here. So inhale as you arch, lifting the chest, lifting the tailbone. Exhale as you round. Let's take 7 more full breaths in cat stretches. Inhale, arch, and exhale, round. And if your wrists bother you here, it's okay to use your fists. That will work too. Letting your wrists face each other. Just a few more full breaths. And last exhale. And let's find neutral spine. We're going to do a thread the needle stretch here. So we're going to take one arm, get a big breath in as you reach it up, and then exhale as you slide it through behind your opposite wrist. I get a nice back crack every time I do this one. And now I've taken that grounded hand because I need just a little bit more here. I slide it forward. You can keep it beside the face or you can reach it forward for just a little bit more of a stretch. So do what feels best for you. And give yourself 5 or 6 long breaths here. And last full breath right here. And then that hand I've slid forward, I'm going to bring it back beside the face to press myself back up again. And then once I get up, just a little bit of hip swing side to side, just because it feels good. And now I'm going to take the opposite side. So we're going to reach up, get a breath in, slide it through on the exhale, and let your ear and temple come down. If you have trouble on this one, getting your head toward the floor, your ear and temple, you can use your blanket and rest your head on the blanket. If it still doesn't feel comfortable, you can sit back and just take one arm across the front and gently pull it in here. So that's another option for the thread the needle stretch. Let's just take a couple more breaths here, whatever option you're using for this stretch. And again, we'll bring the hand beside the face to press ourselves back up. And then let's bring our knees close together and then just sway the hips a bit here. So we're going to let the hips just really sink down from one side to the other. position. And you can come back onto that blanket if you want. And we're gonna do a few stretches for the hands. So let's interlace the fingers here. Press out through the palms. Let your shoulders reach really long and hollow the chest. Let's take those palms up toward the ceiling. And then relax the arms back down. And now take one hand, so the palm is facing forward, and I'm going to grab the thumb and gently draw the thumb back toward the forearm. And again, even here, taking those nice long breaths. And now I'm going to softly release the thumb, and then I'm going to grab the rest of my fingers and pull gently back here. And then let's release that hand, shake that hand out. And then we'll take the other hand, palm facing forward, gently draw the thumb back, just till you feel a good stretch. Nice big breaths. And let's relax that stretch, and then we're going to grab the rest of the fingers and pull gently back. And a couple more breaths here. And then let's relax that. Shake the hands out. And let's come back to that first hand. So I'm just going to have the back side of my hand facing up. And then I'm going to take a hold of my hand. So my fingers are near my pinky side. And I'm going to draw my hand toward my inside wrist, just slightly. So this is just a gentle pull in this direction. And then let's gently release that side. And I'm going to do the same thing with my other hand. So the back side of my hand is facing. I'm going to get my fingers around that pinky side. And I'm just going to slightly draw my hand toward my inside of my wrist area. So I'm just kind of stretching the outer edge between the hand and the forearm. So right at that wrist is where I want to feel the stretch. And then let's release that and roll the shoulders again. Let's do one little butterfly stretch here. So we're going to bring the feet together, knees apart, sit up nice and tall, taking a big breath in, sitting on that blanket if it's more comfortable. And then when you're ready, relax into a fold here. Softly bring it up, and then we're going to open the legs out so we can get the backs of the hamstrings here, and then just kind of inch the hands forward, get a little lean forward. Now if you're sitting in this position and you feel like your spine is rounded in the back, you feel tucked in the tailbone, that your pelvis and belly are pulled in, that's when you do want to sit up on a blanket and get a little height there so that you feel like your hips are leaning forward a little. And then from there, just lean in until you feel a good stretch. Another good use for that blanket is to bring it underneath your body as you fold. And let's slowly walk it back in. And then take one arm up with a big inhale, stretch over one side. And then inhale as you come back up, and exhale, reach to the other side. Gently release. We're going to use our hands to push the legs back in and then get ready to come all the way down. And then from right here, let's take our left ankle above our right knee. And if you feel a stretch in the outer left hip right here, stay here. If not, pick up the right foot and bring your right hand on the outside of the thigh, and then your left hand on the inside of the thigh, and gently pull in to get this outer hip stretch on the left side. And if it bothers your left knee at all, flexing your left foot is going to help protect that knee by activating all the little supportive muscles around the knee. And let's take 4 or 5 long breaths here. Gently bring the feet back to the mat, and if it feels good, sway your knees a little bit. And then let's take that to the other side. So we're going to go right ankle above left knee. If you need more of a stretch in your outer right hip, pick up your left foot and gently draw the legs in. And take long breaths. The breathing is even more important than the stretching, and finding that relaxation that we need after hours of gardening or housework or whatever it is that you spend time doing. Whatever chore can create that tension. Maybe it's just sitting at a desk over a computer. Let's take another long breath here. And gently release and begin to lengthen the legs. Take the arms up and overhead. Get a full body stretch, turning your ankles and turning your wrists, spreading your fingers and your toes. Yawn or stretch the jaw. Let's bring the hands to the heart and interlace the fingers and take the palms up toward the ceiling again. Give yourself just a little slight tuck in the chin and step your feet back to the mat. So let your shoulders lift high here. And now we're going to bend the elbows and turn our hands, still interlaced, so the knuckles are reaching toward the ceiling. And again, a slight tuck in the chin, but this time we're going to take those hands further toward the knees as if someone is pulling them 45 degrees. Take another big breath in, and as you exhale, relax your arms down. And let your shoulders gently sink into the floor. Take another deep breath in and out here. Begin to close your eyes and relax your legs all the way down. Let your hips and your knees and your feet gently fall open. And just drift off with your breath.